My name is Bertha Andrews Kelly, and my relationship to Lightnin Hopkins is he is my grandfather. My mother was his daughter.
Okay.
It was
Let's
one
go
of
one
his
more
daughters.
Time. Let's go one more time.
My name is Bertha Andrews Kelly. I am Lightnin Hopkins' oldest granddaughter, and my mother, Annie Mae Box, was his daughter. I met my grandfather, Lightnin Hopkins, uh, for the first time when I was about 19 years old. I was working at the Forward Times newspaper as a columnist, and I was actually uh, friends with Seaboy Vaughn, which was the entertainment editor. And he knew that we had discussed, and he knew that Lightnin Hopkins was my grandfather. So he informed me that Lightnin was playing at the Jewish Community Center on South McGregor. And he gave me information, and I called the Jewish Community Center while he was performing and asked that he would call me. And in between entertainments, he called me. I told him who I was. I was Annie Mae's daughter. He was so excited. He gave me his address of where he lived and asked me to come over there. And the following Monday, I went to the apartments along with my husband and my two boys that I had at the time. And that was my first time meeting him. He and I did not discuss a lot about his childhood and everything, but my mom knew a lot because she knew his mother, which was in Centerville, and she had visited him several times. So all I know is that, things that she told me and what I read. He was playing around churches, and he left at an early age. He and my grandmother married in 1928. They were actually married, and that's my mom's birthday. So my mom was 4 years old when he left Centerville, because he left and went on the road, whatever he was doing, because he was playing and coming home and all that. But my grandmother was in Centerville, and he left when my mom was like 4 years old, and he left Centerville. And he had his mother, which was my mother's grandmother, and he had a auntie that was still living in Centerville, and she lived a long time. She was, and he would go to Centerville and see them. He got the nickname from
and if you could set it up, he got the nickname Lightning.
Okay, he got the nickname Lightning from on a recording in California. When he did a recording in California, then there was, a speed in his playing, and let me see if I can start over on that. Of what let me say, should I say what I'm remembering?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just your record.
He got the nickname of Lightning, as I recall, and can remember from doing a recording in California. During that time, there was a lot of speed and at that time, and he sparked the name Lightning.
Okay.
No, he didn't talk about it, but I feel like he felt comfortable in Houston, and he never wanted and never received fame. He would associate with people that was on the corner, and he would sit in his car by the Rolex drugstore across the street, and people would come by and talk to him. So that was his life. He would come from his apartment where he lived near and come up there and sit on McGowan Street at that Rolex drugstore. That's where if I went by his apartment and he wasn't there, I could drive up to the corner and there he'd be sit all dressed up. So I think he felt comfortable because for years he played in what I call Jew joints and different things like that. So that's where he felt comfortable. And when he would talk to me, he never, wanted any fame. It was, and he had started his playing around what we call associations at churches, Baptist church, and his mom and all was Church of God in Christ. So my uncle, which was his son, Charles Hopkins, was a good singer, and he was at Church of God in Christ that was over there. Well, it was on off of Elgin Street, and many times he would go there, Charles say, and sit and because he just wasn't around a lot of people until he was actually performing. So I think that he stayed in Houston because the people that he knew and associated with until he got ready to go on the road was who he felt comfortable with. To me, because it was Granddaddy, it was that he was just a common person. It's just like a lot of people that I know still didn't know that I was his granddaughter or around him or anything, but because I just have a love for people like he did, and he did. He never sang one song the same way all the time. It wasn't recorded. He might say one line of words in it when he's singing or speaking to a crowd, and then the next time you hear it is something else. So you could never, and what I understood from those that played with him, you had to go along with him because it was not like you practiced and this is how it was going to be. My fondest remembrance is going to his house and just sitting and talking with him. And I had two little boys when we first met. So his relationship, he was just really funny. And so he asked me, my fondest remembrance of one of the fondest remembrance is when one day we was there and he called my son Andre and he said, "Come here, let me let me see something. And he put the guitar in Andre's hand, and he say, play something. And he would play something, and then he'd tell Andre to play it. And Andre actually could do it. And he said, that boy's gonna be a musician. Get some kind of instrument in your house. And so I did. And he became a good musician. And a lot of his music was what they had problems with. Andre is the same with Granddaddy, because he would want to hear the song and play it instead of reading the notes. And that was magic to me, because we got a old piano, and Andre started playing it. And then we sent him to music lessons, and it didn't work because he had the ear, and the teacher was like, until he get ready, you wasting your money, because he's not gonna. He wants to hear it and then play it, and that was my fondest memory, because he said that boy is gonna play. And it did come to pass. I never did. My mother did travel with him, because he and I had a different relationship, because I never went to wherever, what you want to call it. Are you gonna? I got
just
okay.
wherever.
So I never traveled with him, or never went and saw him perform. But I take that back, because each Juneteenth we went to Herman Park and saw him perform. He was good. I would be so proud. And so I did like the music and stuff that he played when we was going to the park. So, as I say, the performances at the bars and things, I never did attend, but my mother did several times.
So what was the reaction of the crowd at Herman Park at the Juneteenth?
Oh, they loved him. They loved him. They would be waiting for that session. And the kids, Andre and Jonathan, was always with me. And so they was able to see their grandfather, well, it was their great-grandfather, perform. The crowd would be a mixture of people, and they would come in more so when it was the blues, because it wasn't a blues Juneteenth, it was like a Juneteenth celebration. And so you had gospel choirs, you had different things, different people that performed. But when the blues time came, when the blues time came, they actually got crowded. And it would be a mixture of people, because the black people was still listening to it, but it was older black people. The younger crowd would be there for the gospel part, but they did listen to Lightnin. That's at the Juneteenth festival. Well, I actually was at the hospital when he got sick. So he got sick first, and I did go to the hospital and stayed with him a couple of times. He was in Elizabeth, what is it? The Catholic Hospital. St. Joseph, I'm sorry. Okay. Want me to start over on that one? my relationship with him after we met became very close. So I kind of like, it wasn't a week past that I didn't go see him when he was in town. And when he got sick, he was just being, sick at the stomach and different things like that. We had no idea that it was in the throat. But when he went into the hospital, at the time he went into the hospital, he was probably in the stage 4 situation. So he never, after he got sick, he didn't come back out of the hospital to perform or anything. And I was with him. I was with him most of the time. I wasn't at the hospital when he actually died, but I was there through the sickness, and he was talking and aware, and he was being himself. So when he got when he got very sick, then my mother was in Crockett, I was here. So when he got very sick, that's when my husband went and got her and brought her to the hospital. But my relationship with him during his sickness, I was there. I was there. I am very proud for his legacy, staying around. A lot of the things that I have learned was from people that was in places and knew him for what he was. I didn't realize until after his death, and I started reading and being asked to speak and everything, how important his blues method was to everyone. I found out that he was playing at colleges for a white audience, and Austin, different things. I found out all of that through writings and people that contacted me from, at the time of the Grammys, gave me information about him and, of why he was receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award. And I'm just so proud to be a part of his legacy. And he have passed on to me. That's, to me, people that we're gifted because of him. There's not any, my sister has 2 boys. They are artists, and my children all have those qualities. So I feel that I have a great part of his legacy, that I'm trying to make sure that the children and be recognized and it keeps going, because there are families members that can carry it on. I'm just one of the persons, which I guess I say I'm the oldest, that try to keep up with everything. And now everyone in the family is recognizing when they see things. Did you see this about Granddaddy? Because he's very much alive everywhere with people, and things that he had recorded is still being shown. And so this is a chance to recognize that there are people that he touched in the family. I would like for people to remember him as the great artist that he was. And when I accepted it, the speech has part of that information in it. And I said, there is none other like him. He was unique. And there are people that can play the blues and greatly, but they can't play it like Lightnin. When I was contacted by the Academy Awards representative,
Grammy.
I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay.
Let me start up. When I was contacted by the Grammys Awards Committee, I was just overwhelmed. And they got my name from when he was presented a statue in Crockett, Texas. And I was the speaker there to accept that unveiling. And they contacted me as the spokesperson. It was so exciting. I didn't know what was going on. So I contacted the family. And, you know, all of us, three of my 4 children and my sister went. And people were just coming up to me and just telling just great stories about the great man that he was, and that this achievement award was long due. And so at the same time that he received the Lifetime Achievement Award, then we were on with Carol and with the Temptations. And so we all was all together, and it was just really a nice feeling when they presented the family of Lightnin Hopkins. We had a great time. I shared how I met him and how I never believed that I would be standing accepting an award for him. And I also shared with them, I also shared with them how he was unique and that there will never be anyone like him. The statue that is on a street corner in Crockett, Texas, was more important for my mom because she lived there, and she was excited. We had to, they contacted me, and I was the one who accepted the unveiling, spoke as a person at unveiling, but we had people that come like Ron Wilson, he came, and several other, because Ron Wilson also played with Lightnin Hopkins and traveled with him as a companion. And he came. It was an exciting time, and the statue is still there. They also have a mirrored wall on that same street with his picture. So he has several things there. So when I don't go home very often now because my mom died and my auntie died that was there. So I have some cousins there, but on my father's side, not on my mother's side. And so whenever we go for anything, we always go and take the children with us, because at the time of the that we accepted the challenge, my daughter, my son, so it was 4 generations of us at that. My mother, myself, my daughter, and her baby so it was 4 generations there, and we have pictures and to remind them that their grandfather is there, their great-great-grandfather is there.
Well, I think that's it. Is there anything else you want to share while we're here about your granddad that we didn't cover?
Well, I would like to share that he loved anime, and that's my mom. He had a special attachment to her because she was the only child that was born that he was married to, the lady. And she had 2 children. That was myself, and I have a sister who's 18 years younger than myself. And my sister was around him, but she was very young when he died. But my sister is the family also, because everyone that knows, and they'll contact me. But she is, if I'm gone, he has another granddaughter. Her name is Jessica Woodson, and she's very much a part of his life, but she was just young. Yes, because he actually did talk to me about that, because I was doing a little of his business, but he was like, when I have a funeral, I don't want all them cameras and taking pictures of me in the casket. He said, I just want to be buried. And he didn't want the fame, because he had went to one of his friends' funeral, and I can't think of the person's name right now, but the friend, they had cameras everywhere, and he said, oh no, because he cursed a lot. He don't want none of that, and he just want a common burial. And as far as his music is concerned, he had just a love for just doing what he do, and had a talent for it. That's what I want everyone to know. It wasn't like he was just picking something. He was gifted, and by God, I don't know if you want to put that, but anyway.
Okay, say what you feel.
Yeah, he was gifted, and he he knew he was loved, and he felt loved by the family. So it wasn't that he was a lonely old man. He did have us around, not so much in the entertainment world, but in his world. And he loved us, and we know that. I know that.